Is National Small Business Month. And when the business trip doesn't end with the meeting, how entrepreneurs are redefining time away. Our guest today is luxury home fragrance founder Lindsay Silberman, and she shares why more founders are stretching the business trip and building a life around it. How are you, Lindsay? Thanks for stopping by.
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
So, Lindsay, when did you start rethinking how you approach business travel?
I would say from the minute I started traveling for business, as an entrepreneur and a founder, there's so much of work life and personal life that get intertwined. It's kind of very hard to see that there are any separations. So I love being able to just incorporate personal travel into my work travel whenever possible. It just makes the chaos and the stress of being a founder a little less stressful.
And you got to make the time to do it. I've constantly said this. I've done a few of them in the last, it's probably since COVID. I don't know what's happened to me, but I always am trying to do it. It just seems like I'm caught up so much. We have travel plans later this year and starting to really get these planned out. It was just a process, but it's so important to enjoy that time, not just, okay, we're going just to go do business and leave.
Yeah, I completely relate. I'm heading to Texas in a couple days for a photo shoot and bringing my team with me. And, I think it's like we will try to do a nice dinner and maybe add on one extra night at a great hotel just to kind of give yourself like a little time to relax and enjoy the journey, which, as a founder, it's important to remember. I think a lot of times we have our heads down in the work, but being able to just like really enjoy the process and kind of make the most of it is so, so important.
And that's where I have to stop just doing these Zoom interviews and start doing in-person interviews more, especially with celebrities,
Yeah.
and then hit red carpets. And that's the goal. That's the goal. And then you can do business while you're out there too. Even though it's semi-business for me, for my agency, it's like, you getting pictures with a bunch of celebs and going out and doing specific things and being on the red carpet shows your clients and potential clients, hey, you're still out there, you're still going, you're not just stuck in an office doing Zoom interviews all day. So, so I think it's
Totally.
huge. And then have the time, make it fun, make the travel fun. Even if you're driving, why don't you not hit the highway, go on the other roads, explore. There's so many
Yeah.
things to explore if you're traveling. And that's the big thing. We have a big vehicle, so we could just drive everywhere because we have to take our dog with us. So our
I love
Lincoln
it.
Navigator. So we're like, nope, I'm going straight that way for sure. Why
And
yeah, go ahead, sorry.
oh, I was just gonna say, one thing people always ask me for advice, and I say that like anything you can do to like, streamline your life and have things be less complicated. Being a founder, we're constantly getting things thrown at us. I have so many like little tools and tips and tricks and things that I do to just make my business life a lot easier. One thing I talk about a lot is the Venture X business card. I am a card holder. My co-founder and husband is also a card holder. And I think there are so many things about running a company that are very complicated, but if there's like one little thing that you can incorporate that makes life and travel easier, I'm all for it. And the card is just like a really great benefit for us and putting our business expenses on it. And I don't know, just making life
No,
easier. Sometimes we'll use the points and miles to treat ourselves to like a nice hotel or a nice meal
yeah,
while we're
because you're
along the
getting
way.
points in the way, and then it's also a business write-off because you're talking
Hmm.
business. Yeah, so that
Big
it's the
big
it's
points girl. I just
uh,
actually used points to cover the flights for me and someone on my team. I upgraded us, which we don't usually get to do, so that was a nice little perk.
yeah, that's the thing that you got to look at is especially you want to have an experience or just keep the money for the business or have that experience. But I think the money comes back. So what I was going to say is the
Yeah.
more you're going out there, and exploring, the more you're getting your name out there, the more you're having the opportunities. You're going and doing a photo shoot, but then enjoying travel and a trip and enjoy a couple days of doing other things as well. But I think exploring
Yeah.
and having those experiences is so important. So you're not constantly in the grind. And I know, Lindsay, you're in that grind all the time, just like me. And it's a constant. And when you can get out of the office and get out and see people, it feels great.
Yeah. And the business that I'm in, we are a home fragrance brand, and so much of our scents and the branding and the storytelling is all inspired by places and destinations. And so, if I'm just sitting inside in the office or just sitting inside in a hotel the whole day, like I'm really not getting that creative inspiration. So it is nice to be able to like get out there and, experience all of the senses and smells and beautiful sights and design, and that is just like a big part of what I do. So anytime I can incorporate that into my business travel, it's a big bonus.
Absolutely, definitely. So what's interesting in this process, and this is what I find really fascinating in so many ways, Lindsay, is how exciting that travel experience is as well. You know what I mean? It's like we're going, we're seeing these specific things, and wow, the wow factor in travel. You know what I mean? And that's what I love,
Yeah.
and I love. But I think that we got to plan these things. So you plan out your events and different things you're doing and saying, what can I also do? And you and your husband come up with those ideas. That's cool.
Yeah, we're going to Italy in a couple of weeks, and it started out as a personal trip, but then now, of course, I like to turn everything into a work trip. So we're doing a little R&D for to get some inspo for a possible new candle that we'll be launching next summer, something Italian coast, and yeah, it's just like I think for a lot of us, the our work life and personal life are just very intertwined, and there's no definitive line. So I just like to be able to maximize my time and whenever I'm traveling, get a little work out of it, but also get a little personal enjoyment too.
All right. So the fragrance company, tell me that growth and where you guys are going next so people can know about it and
Yeah,
who. Yeah.
it's kind of a crazy story. We started the company during COVID. I was in this apartment that I'm currently in now, and my husband and I were locked down, and I had always had this idea of starting a company that was home fragrance inspired by travel and luxury hotels because I always wanted my home to smell like a nice hotel. And during COVID, I was really missing travel. And I thought if I ever was going to start this idea, now would be the time. So we launched it in 2020. We sold out our first like launch of two candles within 24 minutes of our launch. It was like thousands of candles. And I think we definitely struck at a moment where a lot of people were kind of just like holding on to little moments of joy. And we've just been growing really fast ever since. We're 5.5 years in. We have built out a team now, and we have a bunch of other additional products beyond just candles. So it's just an exciting time. Not the journey I ever in a million years thought I would be doing. I was a journalist before this. So yeah, it's been a learning process and just a really kind of interesting and exciting thing that I never anticipated.
All right. Well, we appreciate it. Best place people can go and check you out. Where can we find information first on your business and also about Capital One?
So my business is called Hotel Lobby Candle. You can find us at hotellobbycandle.com and on Instagram at Hotel Lobby Candle, and then Capital One Business. You can find more information at capitalone.com/business cards.
All right. We really appreciate it. Thanks again. Thanks for coming on
Thank
the show.
you.
All right. You're
Thanks.
listening and watching The Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.